characters. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. And if I put 7, it would be until W. Nice. So instead of doing like the whole substring thing, you can just use this first function. Hamming distance. What's that? Returns the Hamming distance between two strings. What is a Hamming distance? Is that like a word from English or a word from like tech lingo? I don't know what this is. But anyway, so we have holu and we say Hamming distance ciao and we receive 3. I'm like super confused. What is Hamming distance? If there's a Spanish speaker that knows what this is, Hamming distance is a metric for comparing two binary data strings. While comparing two binary strings of equal length, Hamming distance is a number of bit position in which the two bits are different. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Why didn't I know that? Well, I learned something new apart from all of the new functions. Cool. Again, I don't know in which use case you would need that. So if any one of you actually finds that useful because you need it for a use case, that would be super interesting to see. And we have last, which is basically the same as first, but in the inverse. So instead of having the first characters, we have the last characters. If I put more characters here, we receive more. Is it kind of like using. No, never mind. uh, okay, I guess this is kind of like Hamming distance, but different. Leven, Levenstein distance. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's something again binary. So kitten, Levenstein, and then sitting. And we have 3. That's so interesting. I've never seen that before. Well, there's a function for that, in case you were wondering. Now let's see the lines function. So, okay, let me read this. Returns an array of lines from a string. Oh, okay. Every time that you have like a what do you call that? Backslash n, then you receive a new line. So you can see here the new lines, an array of the new lines. So you have hello world, and then you have an empty string because there's a new line here that is empty. And then we have here DataWeave. That's cool. That's cool. These are super useful. Oh, map string. Is it what I think it is? Is it like a map for strings? All right, so we have an object balance, and then we have this string, and we say map string, and then if I guess a character is numeric, then write this, else just write the value. And we end up with this. But why is it? Oh, because it's breaking it. Okay. So if I put here, for example, A, B, C, sorry, and I say is numeric, so all of the numbers will be transformed into that. And if I change this, it will also be transformed into whatever I put here. Well, that's cool. Yeah, it's basically a map, but for a string instead of for an array, kind of like map object, where you can just like separate or iterate through the whole object per field, instead of having to iterate through all of the values from an array. That's smart. That's smart. We have remove, the remove function. Ah, all right. So we have the whole string: laziness, purity, state, higher order, stateful. Remove state, and it basically just takes this out. And notice that it leaves the two empty spaces. So if I put here the empty spaces, it will remove the whole thing. Well, that is super useful. I think I've had to use this in other parts. I don't remember what I did for that, to be honest. That's great. That's great. Then replace all, kind of like replace, but all. Hi, Santiago. Thank you. There. In case you're not seeing the chat, I just put the chat on the screen so you can see. All right, so we have the replace all, and as opposed to the replace, normal replace, oh, I cannot use it. Okay, never mind. Replace all, and we have Mariano, A, like lowercase a and lower and uppercase A. So we end up with this because we're saying from this string, replace all of the lower cases a with an uppercase A, or I can like put something else. Where is my X? Here. So I end up with this. If you are from Mexico, you will understand this joke. Index. Anyway, now we have the replace all, and we have and we replace with B, and we end up with BA. Now we replace null with whatever, and it won't replace anything because it's a null, and we get a null back. And if we send something that's not on the first string, we end up with the same string. It doesn't replace anything. Pretty self-explanatory again. Now reverse. Ooh, I think I know what this does. Yes. Okay, I think this can be done with like operators, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like literally reversing the string. If we send a null, then nothing gets reversed. You just receive a null. And if you send an empty string, you receive an empty string. But let me see if I'm thinking correctly. So I have Mariano. Um, how is it? Is it like, was it -1 to 0? Yes. So you can also do this and achieve the same output. But I guess having a function to do it will maybe make it more performant instead of doing like this. So it was what? Reverse? Reverse, yes. Yeah, so you can use any of those two, but I guess reverse would work best. I'm not sure. Some character. I guess it's like every character, but some instead of every. So, oh, why are there so much errors? So many errors. So, some character, and then we send the some character function, and then we're saying is uppercase. So, yes, there is at least one character which is uppercase. If I take it out, then there is no character that is uppercase, so this is false. And if this works like the every or some functions from the arrays module, this means that as soon as it reaches this capital C, it stops all processing. So let's see if that's true. Let me add a log here. and then see the log view. Oh, it continues. So it's not like the other one. What if I put a log here? Yeah, it continues. Oh, that's crazy. So it goes through the whole thing. SOMEC, and it continues to character. It doesn't stop. Well, that's interesting because let me do it with the arrays module. Let me take this out. And then if I do, for example, um, let's say A, and then B, and then capital C, and then D, and then we say sum is uppercase, and then, oops, log, log. I always lose my keyword. Yeah, it stops. See, we have A, B, and C, and capital C. And then we don't have a D because it stops. And the same with every. So if we put every, so now it's checking if every single character here is uppercase and it stops immediately. Like it just processes the A because the A is not an uppercase, so this is automatically false. That's crazy. Why is the sum character not working like that? It goes through everything. It should stop here in the C. And if I put every character, no, I didn't want to do that. Every character, it also continues. So it should stop here in the S because the S is not uppercase. Well, that's good to know. This means that the every character and the some character are not that well performant, not like the every or some from the arrays module. That's great insight. That's great insight. I have a lot of questions now for the DataWeave team. I will have to rewatch this and get all my questions. um, all right, so we're almost out of time. I will go ahead and check these ones really quick. Okay, so just to, we were in some character, we have the substring, substring by, substring every. I guess it's like the substring after and substring before, and then words. What is words? I guess it's counting, like how many words. Oh, it's separating by word. That's nice. You receive an array. So the coercions, let's see how the toString works. That's the one I want to see. Oh, we don't need the log viewer anymore. So we have toString 1.0. We end up with 1. I wonder if this can be 1.0. So it's like literal. Anyway, now we have, oh, you can add the formatting. Okay, cool. So we have 0.005, and then we have the formatting to get just like the first two zeros after the point. So we get 0.01. Thank you. And then we get 0.035, and we have the formatting this. Yes, I guess that's like the formatting. Let's see what it is. So the number value to format is the first thing that we send, which is this one. Oh, is this just for numbers? Oh no, I'm just in the number part. Okay. Then we have the formatting that will be applied, which is this part here. And then what is the ES? Run mode. Optional parameter for rounding decimal values when the formatting presents a rounding choice. So you can select up, down, ceiling, floor, half up, half down, half even. And what is ES then? We have half even here. Well, I'm confused. It has like four parameters right here, but this one says that there are only three. All right, I will ask about this as well. But anyway, we can see the output, which is, what would that be? I think it's something to do with the formatting because it's outputting a comma instead of a dot. I wonder if I put en, well, it puts a dot. What about the e? And it puts the comma again. I guess yeah, it's like the localization. So like from which country do you want this to be formatted as? I guess. But all right, that is like the number. We also have dates. So you can also format a date into a string. You can format a binary. Oh, that's nice. Into a string and a time zone into a string and an array. Really? Well, that's super useful. Yeah, you have an array of characters and they become a string. I guess if I put a number into a string, what if I put just a number? No, it doesn't work. Okay. And what if I put all numbers? Nope. Okay. Well, if you send an array of strings, it will become just one string at the end. That's cool. Then we have the math. I'm not gonna go through that, but the periods, I know that this was already existing because I've used this before. I've used it between function. So yeah, I guess this some of these at least already existed, but they were not documented because I remember googling it and never finding the periods module, even though I knew that it existed. Again, I've used the between function. And the tree. I really love the tree module, but the function that I've been using is a map leaf values. So if you haven't used it, go ahead and check it out. It basically modifies all of the leaves in your tree, which means like the last values. For example, if you have this input, you this like everything that is in green basically is a leaf, and you are able to modify that. And also, if you use a path, you see here that you have like value and path. If you use a path variable, you will be able to get like the field behind the value. So that has been super useful to me. And now, which ones are new? Filter array leaves, filter object leaves, filter tree. Let's see filter tree. 5 minutes left, people. 5 minutes left. Oh, okay. And well, it's showing an error, but it is working, so I'm gonna ignore it. Gee, this is a lot to look at. So we have filter tree. Oh, well, that's so useful. It's like I'm so excited for this one. So basically, the same thing that the map leaf values is doing. I mean, the same functionality around the value path that you can get, but you are filtering this. So in this case, for example, you're saying value match, and then case s is string, then um, if it's not empty, and else true. So you are filtering whatever you're sending in the tree based on this. Well, that's cool. And let's see, for example, the is object type. and it's not working. I'm not sure why this is not working. I guess because of this. Well, I'm gonna raise those concerns. But anyway, let's leave this um, right here. I hope you liked this stream. Let me take a little bit of coffee. Okay, my throat hurts a little bit. So, thank you so much for joining. This was a different session. This was not just me doing something random that I didn't know how to do. In this case, I didn't do anything. I just followed the documentation and saw like what was new with DataWeave. So let me know if you like these kind of sessions, if you want to have more sessions where I try to do something that I don't know how to do it and I fail at it. So yeah, let me know which one you prefer. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for joining. Thank you all for joining. We have a lot of first time people that have never used the chat before. So I really appreciate it. Please keep coming. Feel free to send me your feedback. If there's something that you want me to do, just send it right away. I will try it immediately. So again, thank you so much for joining. Yay, we have a new follower. Thank you, Kelly. And yes, if you follow me, us, you will see the alert here. And also, if you send stuff to the chat, I will be able to show it right here. So send us your love, and I will see you in the screen, and I will thank you for it. All right, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for joining. Send me your feedback, share with your friends, and follow us. Bye, everyone.